Welcome to the Floyd Memorial Library podcast, where we sit down with the people who give shape, texture, and voice to life on the North Fork of Long Island. Some are rooted here by generations, others arrived by chance or choice, but all carry with them a piece of the story. We talk about what's changing, what's worth holding on to, and the currents of history, both quiet and loud, that run through this place. I'm your host, Christopher Bianchi, and for episode 141, we're celebrating the heart and history of Riverhead's Polish Town with the people who keep its tradition alive, members of the Polish Town Civic Association. Born out of the very first Polish Town Fair back in 1975, the association has spent the past 5 decades preserving and promoting Polish heritage through community events, cultural programs, and of course, the beloved annual festival that draws visitors from near and far. We'll talk about the roots of Polish Town, how the neighborhood has changed over the years, and what it takes to organize one of Long Island's most enduring cultural celebrations. Along the way, you'll hear personal stories, favorite memories, and a vision for the next 50 years of this proud and close-knit community. So I hope you enjoy episode 141 with the Polish Town Civic Association. This episode was recorded July 29th, 2025. Thank you so much for coming on the Floyd Memorial Library podcast today. I'm really looking forward to talking to you all.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And so just to the beginning, if you all can give, the three of you can give a little introduction about yourself, your name, and your role in the organization.
My name is Stephanie Galka, and I am the current vice president of the association.
My name is Renata Klibisz, and actually right now I am a recording secretary.
And my name is Shannon Clifford, and I am the corresponding secretary.
So my story comes a little bit later than these ladies. My first experience was in the early 90s. I came as a volunteer. My husband's family was working at volunteer, or they were a member of the organization since the 70s. And I came and worked at the fair a couple of years and early in our relationship. And it grew and evolved from there. Just the community organization itself, and the fair was always a great time, and good for us all to hang out and have a good time.
Around what year was that you?
93, 94, 95, in that time frame.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And me, my friend, recently she told me that the Civic Association was looking for the new members, and I knew it was something I wanted to be involved in. Mm-hmm. So I am member since 2023. Yes, that was September. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then for you?
For me, I was born and raised in Riverhead, so I've been going to the fair since I was a small child. My grandparents had a house right in Polish Town, so some of my first things there were, being dropped off, at my grandparents' house and running the fair for the 2 days. And then my parents did start volunteering to have a kibasi booth or run a kibasi booth for the Civic. So we did that for many years as a family and all their friends, and we would do all that. And then in 2023, when things were coming back after COVID, I wanted to join, and we wanted to bring back the fair.
Mm-hmm. And also, how far back does your family or your personal connection to Riverhead or the Polish American community go?
For me, my grandparents, like I said, they had a house right in Polish Town. My grandmother's family was from here, but they lived in Aquebogue when she was a child. But I think when my grandparents got married, they bought that house in Polish Town, and my dad and all his brothers and sisters, they grew up in Polish Town. We all went to what was then St. Isidore's, which is the Polish church, and the Polish school there, St. Isidore's. So my family goes back probably to like the late 40s in Polish Town. And that's it.
Shannon is my sister-in-law, so my connection is through
So we might have some similar stories.
My connection to the community is through my husband's family.
Okay.
I grew up in Mattituck and didn't have an enormous amount of Polish community at that, with my childhood growing up. So it wasn't until the 90s when I became exposed to, that was when my husband and I met. And then 93. So I got grand culture, from visiting grandma and going and experiencing the fair and the organization and what it was in its heyday, with hundreds and lots of people were helping and volunteering and participating in activities. And it really was a nice time to be around it. Yep. Renata.
I moved from Poland to the United States and actually to Riverhead. I came to Riverhead to my family, and I live in Polish Town since I came, so 28 years. And every year I saw from, through my window the Polish fair and people, and all activities and music I heard, from my window. So I was, every year since I came here, I was every year at Polish fair.
Wow. But so you came over because you had family already here?
Yeah.
But had they immigrated like early in the...
Actually, my uncle, my father's brother, he came in 1962. With his wife and children. They came through the boat, battery. And then my father, he came, and my mom, my brothers. So my family came later. Yeah.
Yes. Now, the Polish Town Civic Association was born out of the first fair in 1975. Can you walk us through that origin story and how organization grew from there?
Well, one of the things actually that I had brought that we were reading before, some of the people before us were kind enough to type up all sorts of history for us. But it was 1974 that a group of people went to Poland. With that, they fell in love, and the culture, of course, that was their ancestry, and that they wanted to celebrate in Polish Town similar to the tiny villages and towns that were in Poland. They wanted to decorate the stores and the houses with the traditional stencil on the shingles. So the group of people came together, and then it later evolved into the Polish Town Civic Association, and the fair came in 75 for the first fair. So this is our celebration of the 50th anniversary of the fair this year.
And if any of you could share some of your strongest memories from past Polish Town fairs and any standout moments that really capture the spirit of the event.
I didn't attend the fair until the 90s, so my first time was as a volunteer helper at the time. You certainly have.
Yeah, but I mean, you must have like memory of that. Sorry.
It's in August. I remember it being very
It was hot.
It's always very hot. For me, I love the music and the energy, the excitement of people being there and sharing in the culture. I enjoy the dresses that the ladies wear for the dancing or the guys. The ornate color and craftsman, the just detail and the mostly handmade, all just beautiful color and vibrant, and always lively music. Just makes, I don't know, it's like an energizing vibe, I think.
Yes.
Would you say? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was so many different things over the years, depending on what age I was. I mean, when we were really little,
that's true,
it was
yeah.
freedom for us. We would go, we would shop, we would just run around and have fun. And then I did do Polish dancing, so I would do performances for a few of those years. And then as we got older, it was the place to be. Like, you would see all your friends there from school. You would see everybody you knew from town there. And there was just so many different things to do. There was a lot of places that were the place to be, like the restaurant that used to be there, Docks. They had a big tent, and that was the party area. And I was telling someone the other day that when I was a younger kid, I was like, oh, I can't wait to be old enough to go hang out there, because everybody was having such a good time. And then the music and the food, and you would always get your pierogies. And it was the one time of the year that you knew you were going to have all that.
And what year was that, the first one you attended?
I mean, I'm sure I was at one in the late 70s that I don't remember. But I mean, I was Polish dancing and running around the fair probably in 1982, 81. And then obviously all through the years.
Yeah. And was it always kept on the same street?
Well, when I was young, the original fair was more in actual Polish Town than it is today. It used to be all of Pulaski Street, all the way to the church, to St. Isidore's Church. That was the main drag. And then there were some offshoots, and then would bring you back to the Civic on Lincoln. But many years ago, I think some of the people who owned businesses in Polish Town that weren't affiliated with the fair or didn't sell stuff on the street, I think they had complained that customers couldn't get to them. So the fair shifted a little bit down the road and they stopped. But the road's pretty much closed anyway. So I don't know that it really helped what they were looking for, but we're hoping to eventually have all that filled again and be back in the middle of town.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yep. The first fair had about 50 booths, but they said when this was written, they had over 200 booths.
Oh, wow.
So tons of street space for 200 booths.
And now, what does the association do beyond the annual festivals that the public might not know about?
I think the community at this particular point, this last year, 24, was a revitalization. We, with COVID and a few very substantial members passed away or moved away. The couple of years around COVID, they didn't have that much membership. Things kind of fizzled. So last year was the first year of revitalization. So we have gotten back to scholarships for multiple kids, including a kid from the Polish school and Riverhead High School, the NJRTC kid, student respectively, and then the just baby steps getting back to revitalizing our building, getting to a place where we're exterior and continue to grow and expand our search on that. The organization as a whole works to beautify and continue to give back to our community between just time and energy, and we'd like to expand upon. We need new members and would love to have many more hands to help us continue and expand what we're working on.
Yes.
Yeah, we have various fundraisers through the years to help to help with raising money to be able to do some of this stuff. So this past year we had a big fall traditional Polish dinner that was a packed house with Chinese auctions, and then we also have a golf outing every year that helps with a traditional Polish dinner after to help raise money to support some of our stuff. So we're trying to build it all back
And
up.
our women's dinner too. We had this year.
Women's dinner. And we're trying to find more fundraisers to implement to see what's going to work the best for us, because our, end goal is, trying to do more scholarships and keep increasing it, and the beautification of Polish Town, and our facilities, and to spread, Polish culture.
And then you continue to get younger people interested.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yes.
And that's where we're working with the Polish school.
Okay.
Because a lot of the people from Poland who have come here from Poland, want their children to be immersed and learn about their culture. So they're sending them to the Polish school, and we're, trying to help expand that.
Mm-hmm. And are there still more Polish families coming over to the area now, or not so much? Or not as...
No, right now, no.
No, it's
No. Like, since maybe in the past 10 years, that was more. But now, no.
Not so much.
No, not so much.
And then also, could you talk a little bit about how Polish Town, the neighborhood, has changed over the years, socially, culturally, even physically?
I mean, it definitely has changed a lot. When I was a kid, most of the families were Polish, and there's still some, but it definitely has changed over. I feel like a lot of the houses in town are more rental homes, so there's people coming and going, that they're not necessarily their generational, like my grandparents were and some of the people around them. But there's still a lot of Polish businesses. There's actually one that we just heard that is getting ready to open a new Polish business in Polish Town. And there's still a few other ones. So, we're hoping that will continue.
Yes. But you hope to have other businesses, Polish businesses, come into the area. But even out here, there's not a lot of rentals. There's more Airbnb.
I was going to say, our North Fork as a whole, I think, has shifted in the market from your only primary homes to a lot of second homes or rental homes, or like you're saying, Airbnbs or something of that nature. So you have that turnover much more than it used to be anywhere, whether it's Polish Town or not.
Yeah. And I think that's a part of a big difference between the Civic now and the Civic years ago, is most of the people, I feel like, were from Riverhead or Polish Town itself, whereas now I feel like a good amount of our members are starting to come from far away, the South Hole Town, the Hampton side, because they just want to be, involved with something with their heritage. So, I mean, it's good, and in ways too that we're expanding.
Yes. And you've talked about scholarships and trying to bring in more people, but what does the Civic Association do with keeping Polish heritage alive in a modern and increasingly diverse Riverhead?
I mean, we are just kind of getting started with what we hope to roll out to do to bring culture and things like that in. I mean, obviously doing multiple events where we have authentic food and music, and immersing people in that culture is helpful. I mean, the fair is our big thing right now, having people come have the food and the music, and seeing different outfits and dancing, like, bringing that culture in. I mean, and still a lot of the buildings around town have those original village look of, Poland.
The shutters with the folk
including
art.
our building, and there's others around. I mean, me personally, I'm hoping that once we get more people and we raise more money, then maybe we could go to some of those building or homeowners and help them, whether we do it ourselves or we raise money to have someone do it, to redo the shutters and make it more vibrant and beautiful again, and work with the town on maybe there is a new building on the corner of Osborne and Pulaski, and they did have them do the shutters. So like putting that in the town code that any new structures would have to follow that are all little things that we could try and do.
The town last year replaced all of the signs in Polish Town, the red signs.
The red street sign.
All the street signs are new and updated last year. The highway department did that. So, silly little...
So slow and steady to try and bring things back that were always there or add new things.
Yeah.
And have other people taking a liking to even coming to the festival, even outside of Riverhead or from all over the country or outside of the state?
Oh yeah,
all over.
Oh, okay.
Out of state.
We have people coming from North Carolina in 2 weeks to come to the fair, to come and help with the fair. So, too. So that's nice. But I mean, we get people from all over Long Island. People from upstate are calling us, asking us for our schedule so that they could come. I mean, it definitely is. We got great feedback last year from, the first year back after COVID, and we're hoping that it grows and we have even more people this year.
Yeah. We have vendors coming from all kind of states as well. The span is pretty wide, and people calling, they want to make sure we're going to have this food or that food to make sure they're having that experience. I think for a lot of people, they're coming back to town. I used to go as a kid, or I worked, or I volunteered, or whatever the situation is. A lot of people coming back for that weekend to have just something traditional for them.
Yes. And I was curious, are there any other Polish festivals in the state?
There are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a parade in the city every year, the Pulaski Day Parade. I don't know if they actually have food or anything like that, or is it just the parade? Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't there something in up west, a small fair kind of up west, Lindenhurst-ish area?
That was last weekend, 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Something. That was something new. I think.
Was?
Yeah.
I
think
okay.
so.
I remember seeing it. I just didn't know the details. Yeah. I think a smaller kind of thing.
Smaller.
And even coordinating and putting together the whole festival, there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, well, Stephanie over there is in charge of the vendors, and that alone is a full-time job. And we're very appreciative because she's spending countless hours working with them. But then all the other stuff is definitely, we need a lot of hands.
The more hands would be grateful for. We have a core crew that are really busting their butts, but it is a big event and bigger this year than it was last year, and it'll continue to grow hopefully. But the amount of manpower, some of it's physical labor, some of it's just office stuff that needs to get done and could use an extra set of hands for.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
not enough hours in the day.
No, and we're very thankful for the Riverhead High School and JROTC.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Yep.
They volunteer every year, and they send a crew of kids that does our supply runs. So they're running supplies all day in the fair. They help with the garbage. So it's very helpful because they do a lot of work over those 2 days.
They definitely do, and even the couple of weekends before, I think they'll be putting together things and setting up, and they're a good group of kids. The community support has also been immense this year. Not that it hasn't been in years past, but we got a lot of support from people, be it sponsorship or just ways to help, and the appreciation that we're having the event and that we're bringing such an enormous activity back to smack in the middle of town for everybody. It's a nice thing.
The festival has continued to grow even since COVID. It's continued to get bigger and bigger.
COVID, there was around the COVID time, there was a break around COVID time, and a few years in that, that era of that time frame. The last year, 24, was the first year that our board has been involved and the revitalization of the organization has happened, and this current group of people put it together. So last year was the first year in however many couple.
Yeah, since 2019,
Yeah.
it was the first year. So, yeah. I mean, COVID happened. I think Steph had touched on it before. Then in 2021, there was still restrictions, so they decided to not do it again because we need to start planning for the fair in like March. So when March and April were happening in 2021, you still couldn't make plans like that. So they decided not to do it in 2021, and then a few people had passed away, and then people had moved out of state a lot too around that time. So it left the organization with nobody to really plan it. So then that's why it didn't happen in 22 and 23. And 23 is when so many more people in our current board came back together and said, okay, we're all in on this. And then it was too late to do the fair that year, but then that's why we had it in 2024.
Oh, okay.
So there was a learning curve, needless to
Yes.
say.
Most of us had either, we might have been at the fair and volunteered at the fair, but we didn't run the fair. So there was only one or two people who were heavily involved with running in the fair last year. And I think we did okay.
We did okay, all things considered.
Yeah.
I think everybody had, good things to say in general, but learning curve.
Yes. And how many vendors did you mention for this year?
It's still growing, but we'll be at over 100 vendors for this year.
And then throughout the festival, you have different events throughout the day.
We do. Do we want to have a
Yeah, I
If
can
you
pull up
wanna
the schedule.
share.
So,
General, yes.
yeah, we have one main stage area in front of the Pulaski Street School on Pulaski Street where our showmobile is. And we have a whole itinerary of entertainment. I mean, we definitely have the day starts off with our Polish Mass. Well, I don't have my glasses on, so you might want to take that over.
at 11.
Yeah.
Oh, so the opening ceremony.
is at 10, and then the Polish Mass is at 11, and the Polish wedding and parade, which
Is
is
at noon.
traditional,
Yeah.
but that's at noon, and they'll do a whole parade through the
Main stage.
main stage from the church. You could probably speak to the Polish weddings tradition a little bit better than me, but it's this whole
Yeah, what is that?
All people, wear old, that's folk costume from Krakow. And we have bride and groom, parents of bride, parents of groom. And we have like a guest and kids with flowers.
all dressed in beautiful
Yes,
costumes.
so we have a parade, and then one person, actually me, like a grandma or special guest, welcome bride and groom with the bread and wine, and then we danced Polonaise, and after that,
Polonaise is a type of dance, right?
yeah, that's Polish, traditional
Okay.
dance. So, and then we have a parade from the main stage to the Civic Association building, with the musician with accordion.
Yes.
So it's very,
Very traditional.
very traditional, parade, and a lot of people, coming to see
to watch
us.
it. People
to
do
watch,
love that.
Yeah.
What's the bread? Because the bread is very specific.
The bread is for a bride and groom to remember to give them like a food. Don't be hungry anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love, and it's this big, beautiful,
yeah.
it's a
round.
round. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It's beautifully
Bread
done.
and
They have made at the Polish bakery, and it's
Yes.
beautiful. Yeah. The where are we at? We're up to so the Polish wedding and parade people come from. They love that. Then you have your folk dancing throughout. That's up at the main stage, and music by Windstar we're going to have all day, which they are fabulous. And all day at the beer garden, we have DJ Arthur, who is he can
play
play the
all kinds
accordion.
of music.
He has all sorts of Polish traditional or what have you. And then in the evening from 6 to 10, we have a party under the tent in the beer garden. So
Nice.
Windstar will be there. There will be dancing. There will be food. There will be, drinks. It'll just be
Fun.
lively and fun.
Yes.
And then it starts all over again on Sunday. If you are coming in for the second day, we have a pianist coming that day. How do you say her last name? I want to say it correctly.
Kalisz. We
And
have pianist Michelle Kalisz.
She's going to come play Chopin under
Yeah.
by the beer garden. And of course, the pierogi eating contest at 1 o'clock is going to be that's going to be the most fun. And then 2:30 we have the Polish school performance. Do you want to talk a bit?
Yes. Polish school, they start, because Polish school was, they start teaching, kids Polish language, history, geography, and culture since the 1972. And then when Polish Town Civic Association, they start, a Polish fair, kids from Polish school was involved. On Sunday, they have hour, 35 minutes, 45 minutes. It depends how long the program is prepared. They dancing, they singing songs, youngest kids, and then oldest kids. It's a lot of fun, and brings a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it is nice to see the kids of all ages and stages kind of enjoying the dance and the music, and their costumes are beautiful. So that's a fun time too. The music all day we have at the beer garden on Sunday as well. So there's never a dull moment. There's music over here. There's music over here. All kinds of things.
Yeah, I was just going to clarify too. Like the beer garden is at the Polish Town Civic on Lincoln, and it's a tent with tables and chairs, so you could get your beer in the mug and your pierogies and kibasi sandwich, and you could go sit down in the shade and relax during the day on both days. So that's nice.
Yeah, yeah. So a little spot. During the day. There's no charge to get in there. So come grab your dessert and your pierogi and sit down and have a beer.
And we also have a kids' corner where we're going to have
Petting
zoo and pony rides.
And we're going to have some lawn games out there.
The fire truck is coming to be over there too.
Nice.
Good. We're adding the kids zone this year, so we're kind of looking at where we can expand and make things a little more family oriented across the board.
We talked about younger generations getting involved. Are there any other efforts that you're making to try to get people even coming out of high school or the Polish school to attend different events throughout the year?
We have our Polish Town Queen.
Okay.
Who she's high school, just out of high school this year. So trying through the years, there's been a queen. This particular year and last year, in that under 25 range, we are in need of membership drive committee or something along those lines to continue to draw in that age bracket to encourage some participation or just even volunteering, not necessarily membership.
And Also, as the Civic Association is celebrating its 50th anniversary, what's your vision going forward for the next 50 years? It's probably hard to answer.
For myself, I would love to get back to a place where we have the folk art in town and it be considered a landmark, a protected landmark, that Polish Town always have that historic look to it. The amount of members that we have, would love to be 100 more and have people being as we had in years past when they first were gathering and, putting flowers and planter boxes through town and watering the plants and those types of things to kind of bring back the culture that maybe had gone out a little bit, or the exterior that had kind of gone out a little bit.
Yes. And then I guess even just over your time here and then getting involved with the organization, what does Polish Town and this association mean to you personally, and why it's important that you have gotten involved with it?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it definitely, to me, means a lot of things. Everybody, I think, wants to connect with their heritage. And, my great-grandparents all came, on my dad's side came from Poland. And, it means a lot to try and understand where they came from and what their life was like and, keep that going. I think America is great because there is so many people from so many different places, but everything kind of just starts to blend together in the end. So it's nice to learn about other cultures, and in order for people to do that, you have to have some sort of representation of that. So if we can keep that little bit alive in Polish Town, and people can see that and be like, oh, this is how people lived and how what their music was like and their food was like, then it would be great.
Yes,
that was really nicely said. Thank you. I like that. Well, I was going to say for my kids who are through the genealogy, that Polish background the same as hers, to be able to pass on some of that knowledge, even if it's a little bit of what came before them and what the grandparents would have experienced or great-grandma would have experienced, and to be able to appreciate some of that history.
Yes, definitely.
And I'm sure for you and the people who came from Poland, it means even more because you want to keep your, you want your kids to know all that stuff.
Yeah, even just making that for people that have their heritage goes back farther here, but even people that have moved here more recently in the last 20 years, it's still important to have that culture, even though you've moved to the U.S.
More so, I would think, to kind of hold on to maybe what you grew up doing as a kid or experiencing as a kid.
Yes. And was there anything else you wanted to touch on that we haven't talked about?
I think we made it clear that we're looking for volunteers and members.
We don't have a booth open if anybody wants to join.
You don't have to be Polish to join us. You just have to be wanting to.
I can pop over there.
Yes,
anytime. As long as you want to have a good time,
make a kielbasa sandwich.
And spread the Polish heritage and
you can share
help your community.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of years of a lot of people's hard work that put this organization together and held it together for as many years as it was in that, in its heyday, I'll say. And it's going to take a lot of people to get it back to that place where we can be in that same, where we can touch any community aspect that we'd like to work in or make greater contribution in this or that. There's lots of places we'd love to continue to brighten. And
Yes. And then just lastly, did you want to mention just even how people can get involved in terms of how they can contact you? And then also, do you have the dates for the fair coming up?
yeah,
So the fair is Saturday, August 16th and Sunday, August 17th, both days from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. And then the under the tent party thing is from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
with admission.
With admission, though. It's $20 for an adult to get in there. And like Steph had said, like music, band all night. And we will have food and drinks available for purchase. And then if someone wants to be a member, we have monthly meetings. The second Wednesday of every month at the Polish Civic, starting at 7 p.m. So anybody who would like to join or ask questions could come there and fill out an application. And then also, if anybody has any questions, they could just give us a call. We're online. We have a Facebook group. They could find us on Facebook and join. They could email us or call us. We have a website, and they can find us on there.
Wonderful. Oh, but I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on the podcast today and share your story and keeping this wonderful organization going.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Well, I hope you enjoyed episode 141 with the Polish Town Civic Association. I want to thank you for listening to the Floyd Memorial Library podcast, and we'll see you next time.